This didn't make any sense to her. How did a melody that she had locked down over the summer, last summer, suddenly appear on Jennifer Lopez's album? This was something that really bothered her.
What if one of the biggest pop stars of all time was secretly pushed out of her own spotlight? That's exactly what fans are now questioning after a shocking music twist involving Mariah Carey and Jennifer Lopez. Imagine working on a song for months, locking down a rare sample, only to hear that same melody on someone else's album before yours even drops. That's what happened to Mariah, and the timing couldn't have been worse. Back in the early 2000s, Mariah was preparing to release Loverboy as the lead single for her movie Glitter. She had secured a special sample from a 1978 song called Firecracker. But before her version hit the airwaves, that exact same sample popped up on J.Lo's album. Fans and insiders were stunned. How did J.Lo get her hands on the same sample, especially when Mariah had it first? Turns out, Mariah's ex-husband, Tommy Mottola, was still a powerful music executive, and during their messy breakup, he reportedly gave that sample to J.Lo as a way to sabotage Mariah's project. The goal? Crush Glitter before it even had a chance. Mariah was heartbroken. The song was changed, the momentum was lost, and Glitter, once meant to be a comeback, fell flat. But that wasn't the whole story, because another artist was rising fast during this time, and the timing was no coincidence. While Mariah was dealing with heartbreak and sabotage behind the scenes, a young Beyonce was on the rise, and back then, she had nothing but love for Mariah Carey. In fact, Beyonce often said Mariah was the reason she started singing. She praised Vision of Love as the first song that made her fall in love with music. Beyonce even admitted she tried to copy Mariah's vocal runs as a kid, calling her one of her biggest inspirations.
Mariah Carey's voice comes from God. You can hear the gospel in her voice. It's very nice to see her in the church. The whole message in the video was just
Vision of Love was one of the first songs I heard when I was a kid, where I heard all of these riffs, and I was like, how does she do that? In this little short amount of times, the amount of notes she could squeeze in that one little bar, 2 bars, was fascinating to me. And that's kind of when I started trying it, and it's something that I love to do in my music, but she completely inspired me.
There are old videos where Beyonce looks starstruck just being in the same room as Mariah. Her admiration was real, but something changed along the way. As Beyonce's career took off, those shoutouts stopped, the fan moments faded, and some fans think Beyonce began to distance herself from Mariah on purpose. Why? Maybe it was image control. Mariah is often seen as the glittery diva who dominates every December. Meanwhile, Beyonce wanted to be remembered like Michael Jackson or Prince, an artist who shapes culture and music on every level. To build that legacy, some believe Beyonce had to leave Mariah behind, even if it meant erasing her influence from the story. And while Beyonce's talent is undeniable, her rise to the top may not have been as clean as it seemed, because behind closed doors, there were whispers that powerful people helped her career, even if it meant pushing other artists out of the way, and what happened next would only add fuel to that fire. As Beyonce climbed higher, some fans started asking questions. Was her success just talent, or was it also strategy? Industry insiders say the music business isn't always fair. Connections, loyalty, and power plays often matter more than skill. And with Beyonce married to Jay-Z, one of the most connected people in entertainment, some believe her career got an extra boost behind the scenes. At the same time, Mariah Carey's career started hitting roadblocks. Her music wasn't being promoted the same way. Her image was being mocked, and her projects, like Glitter, were torn apart by critics before they even had a chance. Some believe this wasn't by accident, that maybe, just maybe, Beyonce's rise was made easier because someone else, Mariah, was being quietly pushed aside. It's not just fans saying this. Even some artists and producers have hinted that certain doors open only if you play the game. And Mariah, she never played by the rules. She wrote her own songs, produced her own albums, and refused to be controlled. That kind of independence doesn't always sit well with people in power. Meanwhile, Beyonce seemed to do everything the industry asked, and got rewarded for it. Awards, respect, radio play, and big stages. But while her star rose, Mariah's was dimmed. Still, Beyonce wasn't the only one benefiting from the shift. Another artist was handed hit after hit, and her role in this story is even more obvious. While Beyonce was rising quietly, Jennifer Lopez was rising loudly and fast. She was everywhere: music charts, red carpets, movie screens, fashion ads. But here's what confused people. J.Lo wasn't known for strong vocals. In fact, she had never been seen as a powerhouse singer, yet somehow she kept getting handed hit songs, chart-topping singles, and massive deals. How? Many believe the key to J.Lo's rise wasn't her voice, it was her connections. And the most powerful one? Tommy Mottola, Mariah's ex-husband. During Mariah's painful divorce from Tommy, she was working on the Glitter movie and album. She had big plans, but Tommy wasn't going to let her win. So when he found out Mariah had recorded a song using a rare sample, Firecracker, he gave that exact sample to J.Lo first. Mariah's version got shelved, while J.Lo J.Lo's version came out on top. This wasn't just shady, it was personal. Mariah later revealed in her memoir that Tommy used all his power to punish her after their split. He made sure her projects failed and gave her ideas to other artists on the same label. And J.Lo, she played along. That's why fans believe she became the industry's favorite, not because of her voice, but because she helped them silence Mariah. And when Mariah was asked about J.Lo later, she delivered the coldest line in pop history. I don't know her.
Have you heard Beyonce Drunk in Love?
I don't know. I love Beyonce, but I have not heard.
Mariah just flew in from her own planet. I'm telling you, this is Mariah's.
From my own planet?
Yes,
I did.
yes, absolutely.
And I don't.
But that wasn't the last time J.Lo's success was tied to someone else's hard work. The drama didn't end with Loverboy. Years later, more stories came out about J.Lo using songs that were never meant for her. One of the most famous, I'm Real. That song was originally recorded with Ashanti's vocals, background and all. In fact, Ashanti said the track was supposed to be hers, but somehow it ended up with J.Lo. Even more shocking, some say I'm Real was first offered to Mariah before it ever reached Ashanti. According to Irv Gotti, Tommy Mottola told him to give it to J.Lo just to get back at Mariah, and J.Lo didn't say no. She took it, recorded over it, and released it as her own. Ashanti later admitted that hearing her own voice on J.Lo's hits, with no credit, was frustrating. She said it hurt, but she stayed quiet because that's how the industry worked back then. But things were starting to change. More artists were speaking out. And Mariah? She wasn't done dropping hints, because her next comment would become one of the most iconic clapbacks in pop culture. Mariah Carey has always been known for her voice, but just as much for her shade. And when she was asked about Jennifer Lopez again, she didn't hold back. In a now iconic interview, Mariah was asked if there was any competition between her and J.Lo. Her response, I don't think she has anything to do with me. My thing is singing, writing songs. That's a God-given talent.
There are rivalries, but I don't think she has anything to do with me. I mean, my whole thing is singing, writing songs.
An actress.
Yeah, and I've been doing this, my whole life. Singing is first and foremost. It's a God-given talent that I'm grateful for. Her thing is something different.
Then came the dagger. Mariah added, her thing is something different. It was clear she didn't see J.Lo as a true singer, and fans took notice. Later, in a magazine interview, Mariah took another swing. After hearing J.Lo claim she got 8 hours of sleep, Mariah said, if I didn't have to sing my own songs, darling, I'd get more sleep too. That comment hit hard. Mariah was making it clear J.Lo didn't do the heavy lifting in her music, and Mariah had receipts to back it up. But J.Lo wasn't the only one getting help from others, because even Beyonce's journey has its own cloud of controversy. Just like J.Lo, Beyonce's name has come up in similar conversations. Some fans and insiders believe she may have also benefited from other people's work without always giving credit. Over the years, accusations have surfaced that Beyonce used ideas, vocals, or even full songs created by lesser-known artists. One of the most talked about examples is how Beyonce's team has sometimes been accused of borrowing creative concepts without permission. From visuals to melodies, some say the line between inspiration and imitation got blurry, and because of her massive platform, those smaller voices were often ignored. It's important to note, Beyonce is talented, no question, but the pattern of powerful artists rising while others are silenced keeps coming up. And for someone like Mariah, who built her career on originality, watching others take shortcuts must have felt like a slap in the face. But now, after years of staying quiet, Mariah may finally be ready to speak her truth. Word on the street is, Mariah Carey is done being quiet. Sources close to her say she's working on something big. It could be a second memoir, a raw documentary, or maybe even a deep interview where she tells it all. Fans believe she's finally ready to expose what really happened behind closed doors, about the stolen songs, the fake friendships, and the industry setups. Mariah has already dropped hints over the years, but this time feels different. People close to her say she's been reflecting on how things played out, and she's not holding back anymore. With artists like Ashanti speaking out about being used and uncredited, the timing couldn't be better. Fans are hoping Mariah's version will clear the air about everything, from glitter to J.Lo to Beyonce. What really happened? Who knew what? And who played dirty? But if Mariah speaks up, it won't just shake the industry, it might finally force some long overdue conversations and possibly some apologies. What makes this story even deeper is that Mariah isn't the only artist who's faced this kind of treatment. Over the years, many Black artists, especially women, have shared stories of being overlooked, copied, or pushed aside for more marketable faces. And Jennifer Lopez's name has come up more than once in those conversations. Ashanti's vocals, stolen tracks, writing credits, these weren't one-time issues. There's a long list of moments where J.Lo allegedly benefited from the hard work of others.
How did that J.Lo record actually happen? You wrote the song for yourself, or you wrote it for J.Lo?
I wrote it or J.Lo.
And Beyoncé, while more respected musically, has also faced backlash for not always giving proper credit to the original creators behind certain songs or visuals. This pattern has caused a lot of frustration in the industry. Talented women with powerful voices were often hidden while others stood in the spotlight. And now, fans are finally putting the pieces together, asking if all of this was just coincidence or something more calculated. And with Mariah ready to speak, the truth may finally come to light. Now, all eyes are on Mariah Carey. If she really decides to speak out, it could shake the music world. After decades of silence, fans are hoping she'll finally confirm the behind-the-scenes drama. Was glitter sabotaged on purpose? Did J.Lo knowingly take her songs? And did Beyoncé truly distance herself once Mariah no longer fit her image? These questions have been whispered for years, but never fully answered. And with more artists stepping forward about being used or erased, the timing couldn't be better. Mariah has always been known for her voice, but now it's her truth that people are waiting to hear. Will she name names? Will she tell the full story? Only time will tell. But one thing's for sure, when Mariah speaks, the world listens. And if you've made it this far, let us know your thoughts in the comments. Do you believe Mariah was pushed out of her own spotlight? Hit that like button and subscribe for more industry tea just like this.